Hey guys, we're back in Garrett's Kitchen today. We're doing a video for my chemistry class because I need a 101% on my final to get an A. So we're here to do some extra credit. So today, we're going to be making some Dutch baby pancakes.
Alright, first of all, you gotta preheat your oven to 450 degrees with 3 sticks of butter across 3 bowls.
Oh my god.
5 tablespoons of butter in each pan before you get started.
5 big bones.
All 3 pans are going to go in the oven to melt your butter.
6 finely chopped, are 6 liquid chickens. We're gonna put them in the bowl and not get the shells in them like Alex is doing right there. Whoa, no.
And you screwed up. What were you saying?
No.
Well, yeah, you
Just like this, no mess, very, very convenient, throwing them on the floor. We're gonna beat and whisk them together, and that's where the magic starts.
Next, we got 1 cup of sugar in the bowl, 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That's about a teaspoon.
Just dump it. Next, you're gonna whip it real good.
This is where the real magic starts. So the science behind the Dutch babies is that we're not using a leavening agent, but they're gonna leaven once they get into the oven. That is where, when we're mixing this together, it's incorporating air bubbles. So when we put this in the hot skillet, it's gonna evaporate, create leaven itself, and rise with steam.
Leaven. It's gonna rise.
It's gonna rise and create steam. This is the wonderful science experiment, or reaction, called the Maillard reaction. Beautiful, beautiful thing. I think they made it up for just Dutch babies, but it's an amazing phenomenon on God's green earth. One other thing is that the skillet causes the amino acid and the reducing sugars in the batter to react, browning the Dutch baby and creating that delicious crust.
All right, so after you beat this for a couple minutes, a good way to check to see if you're good, you're gonna clear off the side in your bowl, and then you're just gonna drag some up on it. And if you don't see any more sugar crystals right there, then you'll know that you've mixed in the sugar well. So next, after that is completely beaten, we're gonna go in with 1 cup of flour. And y'all know how to measure your flour. You don't just like, and scoop it in there. You gotta take a spoon and you gotta dust it into your cup. So this creates air pockets in the flour so that you don't get too much flour. You know what I'm saying? If you just scoop it in there, then you can get up to 25% more flour than what you actually need. So after you scoop everything on top, take a knife and just flatten it right off. 1 cup of flour in your dough. And you're just gonna mix it right through. And while you're making this dough, make sure you keep an eye on your butter. You just want it slightly brown so you get that nutty taste and the caramelized taste of the butter. And the milk solids in the butter caramelize once it gets that hot, and it creates this nutty flavor, and that will be delicious in your Dutch babies. So we're gonna pour our dough or our batter into 3 separate pie pans. Grab a spatula over there. You can hear that little sizzle. After this is all distributed, I don't even know what that word means. All right, say hi, Cassie.
Hello.
We're gonna put all of these back in the oven. And we're gonna let these go for roughly 25 minutes. If you're gonna check on them, make sure you peek through the oven glass. Don't wanna open them, and you don't wanna bang on your oven because that can cause them to fall.
Now, while we're waiting for those delicious Dutch babies to heat up in the oven, it's your move. let me talk more about the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction, also known as non-enzymatic browning, is a chemical reaction that occurs when amino acids and reducing sugars are heated together. It's responsible for the browning and distinctive flavors of many cooked foods like seared steaks, toasted marshmallows, or in our case, those beautiful Dutch babies in there. Quiet while I make my move. The reaction is named after the French physicist and chemist Louis Camel Maillard. That's the last name. And he was born in 1876, and he died in 1936. Who first described it, the Maillard reaction, in 1912. He was just sitting around and had nothing better to do, like play chess.
All right, that's enough. Let me tell you what's going on in the batter. Well, before it browns. So what we're talking about is after we're whipping all those bubbles into our batter, each of those little bubbles, once it's put in that hot pan and the hot butter and put into that 450 degree oven, all of those bubbles expand when that water inside of it heats up and evaporates, and all of those tiny little bubbles get big and big and big, bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what causes it to shoot up the sides, because all of those things are just all of those things are just pushing up on one another. And that's why we don't need a leavening agent, is because we're relying on steam rather than baking powder or yeast to blow that thing up.
And here we are, they get shot out of the oven. Finished product, we added some powdered sugar on it. Look at that, beautiful. All right, take a taste test. It's good. I'm just missing something.
Hey, bro.
Did you put the milk in?
Got the milk, bro.
Oh my God.
Run it back.
All right, this time we've got the same batter. This time, let's add a cup of milk. Whip it real good. But don't make a mess. 1 cup of flour.
While Garrett is whisking the concoction, I'll tell you a little bit about the butter. So for the first time, we put it in there before we started mixing. It browned a little bit. It was a little brown. This time, we waited until we mixed the concoction with the right ingredients, of course, milk, and then we put it in there. So it'll be nice. It'll still have the golden consistency, not just so much brown. So we'll see what happens. Using percent error and chemistry vocabulary, we had about 26% error, or 126% error, because we had more, and the milk counted for about 26% of the total ingredients. So that's what we're rolling with.
All right, let's try this again. Spread the batter evenly out between 3 different pans. You'll nuke them for about 25 minutes.
Kyle Newcomb.
Doctor.
That's what George said. Dr. Kyle Nycomb, a.k.a. Newcomb.
It's Nycomb, but it's spelled Newcomb.
He should change the name. He should change the spelling of his name, because it should be spelled N-I-E. All right, 25 minutes. I'll be back. Let me out!
Oh my gosh.
They're going.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Look at them babies. That's more like it.
Still the camera here for a second, just to give you a little glimpse. As you can see, they kind of look like roasted marshmallows. That's because both the Dutch babies and the toasted marshmallows have the Maillard reaction upon them. So that's why they kind of look a little similar. They look a lot better than before. They're more or less pancakey than
They have
before.
milk in them now.
That was my fault.
These are much better. Well, let's put some powdered sugar on top. Look at that. Don't that look fire?
Like a
Look at that.
All right, we're going to try a taste test. If this is hot and I burn myself, this is going to be embarrassing, but it's okay. Those are fire with the milk.
When you actually make them, right?
Don't forget to put the milk in. All right. Catch us back at Garrett's kitchen, which this is Liam's kitchen, but
yeah.
we're just switching around. So, catch us back at Garrett's kitchen. We're going to be back and make some more cooking videos with friends.
That'd be fun.
Bye.
Hopefully this gets us a 100. So.
Don't fail me.
50 points. points of extra credit.
All right, we out.